Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. This is the Rode NTH-100, and these are my Honest Audiophile impressions. I didn't know that Rode was making a headphone until I got a notification that they had released one. As soon as I found that out, I purchased one. I went straight to streetwater.com and ordered one for $150, and it showed up the next day. Came in this nice box. Now the Rode NTH-100s, these are 40mm dynamic closeback headphones. They have a frequency response of 5 Hz to 35 kHz, 32 ohms of impedance, 110 decibels of sensitivity, and they also offer 20 dB of ambient noise attenuation. On the box, Rode says that they are a high-quality monitoring headphone. They're accurate frequency response. They have Alcantara ear pads and a headband. And they have integrated Cooltech gel that reduces wearing fatigue. And they have a FitLock headband locking system and a bunch of other things. Check out the link down below for Rode's website for all that kind of information. The headphones. The Rode NTH-100s, they are a very different looking monitor than most. And I actually really like the look of them. And they have a few cool features about it. For one, it's 350 grams. It's a little bit on the heavier side for a closeback, but it's not really too heavy. I mean, if you consider that my LCD2 closeback there is like 650 grams or something. So it's not quite that heavy. But anyways, the Rode NTH-100s, I like the look of them. You've got metal here, a little bit of plastic on the cups, a little bit of branding. You got those Alcantara pads on the inside. They have an R and an L, so you know which one's left and right. Plus you have a little red here for the right side. And then on the slide, they have this twist lock where you just twist it up, slide it into wherever position that you want, and then twist it back. On the bottom, you have 2 earphone inputs, and that's for the cable. You can actually connect the cable to either the right side or the left side, and it works on either side, which is a very nice touch. Speaking of the cable is a very nice cable. It is somewhat proprietary, though. You can get different colors if you are interested in different colors, and you can get it in a shorter cable from Rode. So here's the cable, and then it'll connect. If you want to connect it to the left side, it just goes in and twists into place, and it's very solid. Or you can go in the other side and it twists in place. Extremely comfortable with the Alcantara pad up top and here on the cups. The cups are in like a triangle-y, kind of ovally shaped backwards D, and I find them to be extremely comfortable around the ear. It's like perfect for the ear shapes, and so your ear just kind of goes in, and I have no problems with my ears fitting. If you have larger ears, they may struggle a little bit. It's not the largest of a ear cup. But for the 350 grams, when they go on your head, they just disappear. They're extremely comfortable, and you forget that they do weigh 350 grams. One thing that always seems to bother me with headphones that have a cable on the outside is that the cable, it just looks, I don't know, janky or whatever. But with the Rodes, they did a good job of blending it in, and you don't really notice it. Plus, it's more on the outside here. It's not on the inside of the cups, and it's not as visible. So it doesn't bother me like it does on other headphones of that design. Overall, I really like that. The look, the feel of the Rode NTH-100s. The 20 dB of attenuation is noticeable. They're not the best at blocking outside noises, but for somewhat louder environments, they'll do a pretty good job. I can still hear my mechanical keyboard and people talking, things like that, but once the music starts playing, it totally disappears. Even when I'm listening at very low volumes, about 65 dB, you really don't hear the outside noise after that. Some other accessories that you get a little carrying bag with some Rode branding on it. And then you get a bag with some clips, and the clips are for your cables. You can pop them on, and that way you can differentiate whose gear is whose in the studio, because sometimes you have different settings or different ear shapes, and so you want to be able to just pick up the same headphone each and every time at the studio as a engineer or producer or vocalist or musician. So that comes in handy. You can clip it on your cables and you'll know who's got the pink one, who's got the blue, who's got the orange, green, things like that. So Rode has done a really good job with the build of it. This is their first headphone, and it's a fantastic build, and it doesn't feel cheap. And for $150, this is one of the best built headphones that I've held at that price point. Now, Rode is known to make microphones, and Rode is my favorite microphone manufacturer. So I have some bias here when it comes to Rode products. In fact, this video is being recorded on a Rode microphone, and I've always used Rode microphones. I just love the sound of them. I think Rode microphones have the best natural, accurate reproduction of sound. They don't boost and enhance and elevate things, and you don't sound overly boosted or accentuated in certain areas. They always seem to sound accurate, natural, and balanced. So when Rode made the headphone and I got it in, I was like, I know what Rode microphones sound like. Can they reproduce that in their monitor headphone? And the headphone arrived, and I was so excited to listen to it. And so I had to finish my work shift, grabbed it off the porch. As soon as Arlo said, hey, you got moving on the porch, I was out there grabbing the box, ripping it open, and giving the Rode NTH-100s a listen. And I kind of sat there listening to them like, kind of like that. My wife came home a little later, and I said, honey, I need you to do something for me. I need you to listen to the Rode NTH-100s. And she was like she always does, do I have to? Do I have to do it right now? And I was like, yes, please do it, please. I really think you'll like these. And she was like, yeah, you always say that. And I was like, no, I really think you'll like these. And so she got down in front of, or she put herself in front of our piano, which is a Roland LX7. And she put the headphones on, plugged in the LX7, or plugged the Rhodes into the LX7, and started to play. 15 seconds later, she stops playing, takes the headphones off, and she goes, did I plug these in? And I was like, yeah, I can't hear anything. Oh. And so she puts them back on her head and starts playing again. And she played for about 2 or 3 minutes, takes them off, and goes, you need to hear this. I was like, okay. And so she puts them on my head, and I start listening as she's playing. And then she stops and goes, okay, now listen. And she unplugs them and plays the same song. And I said, okay, I know what I heard. What did you hear? And she goes, those reproduce the instrument exactly as it sounds. And I said, that's exactly what I hear. She goes, now you hear other outside noises because they're closed back, so you don't get, the whole sense of being open. But as far as the instrument reproduction, these reproduce it exactly as that piano sounds. Now, if you don't know anything about the Roland LX7, it is a hybrid piano, so it does have regular motions just like a regular piano, even though it is electric. And it sounds pretty close to an acoustic piano. It's one of the best hybrids that I have heard, and my wife loves it to death. So after my wife told me that, and my wife, if you don't know anything about her, she plays 5 instruments. She plays a piano, saxophone, clarinet, flute, and violin. And she also sings. And she's very gifted and I get to hear her all the time around the house. And it's just a blessing to have a wife who is that talented and gifted. So anyways, I went back to listening to the music. And I said, I have to take these to church and use them as my monitors at service. So on Sunday, I went to church, took the Rode NTH-100s with me, and plugged them into my Allen and Heath QU, or into the church's Allen and Heath QU24, and proceeded to be sound booth guy at church. Had several people listen to them and ask them the same questions, and they all had the same reaction as my wife. These sound just like they do when I don't have them on. And I was like, So, how do the Rode NTH-100s sound? The bass of the Rode NTH-100 is accurate, and it is about as close to neutral as you can get. And it has exceptionally good tone and timbre and very, very good detail retrieval and resolution. They added in a little boost, somewhere around 100 hertz or so, that adds in body, but it doesn't thicken things up too much, warm it up, bloat it, anything of the sort. What it does is it adds body and note weight, and also adds in naturalism. The bass of the Rode NTH-100s is very natural and accurate, and it reproduces exactly what you're hearing from instruments and vocalists and all the other things that are going on the stage. The Rode NTH-100s are extremely, extremely accurate and natural. So it's a natural, neutral sound in the bass. Going into the mids have a nice natural warmth to them. They are very well presented, but they are not too forward or not too far back. They're exactly where they should be. And again, they are playing along in the neutral side of things without being too bland or too dull or too excited. They are just natural. There's good tone, good timbre, and again, exceptionally good reproduction of details and resolution. Going into the treble is extended nicely and has very good control, and it has a good separation, and there's a very nice amount of details and retrieval, and also there's the proper amount of energy and sparkle and shimmer, and they are under control, but yet on the edge. I really do enjoy the treble of the Rode NTH-100s. It has just enough without being excessive, and it has just enough without being boring. The Rode NTH-100's frequency response is very cohesive and very balanced. Nothing is too accentuated or too elevated or too recessed. It all just works right together properly as it should, and it sounds natural and accurate. Soundstage of the Rode NTH-100 is accurate. Now, it's not going to be super wide. It's not going to be narrow. It's right as the venue portrays it. So if it's a small venue or a large venue, it portrays it accordingly. Has very good depth and layering. You can really read into a stage and diagnose a stage. And when you're monitoring, you can pick out where things are going on in the stage without having to look up. Has exceptionally good imaging, very precise, so you can go, oh, that's right there, and you'll know where the problem child is, or where the issue is, or where something is really standing out, someone's playing extremely well. You'll know it. They're very good for monitoring in that regard. They're very natural in the soundstage. They really do show where everything is, and they keep it in a realistic setting. The Rode NTH-100. Just like the microphones, they sound natural and neutral. They do exactly what they're supposed to do, which is reproduce the instruments and the vocalists accurately and naturally. How do they compare to the current monitors that I've been using, which are the AKG K275s? Now, the K275s are a little bit more light. Some may find them to be a little bit more comfortable. I did change the pads on them. And the AKG K275s are different than the NTH-100s. The K275s have a leaner and thinner tone and timbre and less note weight. And they have a little bit more bass emphasis, especially in the mid bass. And the upper mids and treble are more elevated. And the K275s are a little bit more bright and have moments of hotness and sibilance. Soundstage is a little bit wider on the K275s, but depth and layering is not quite as good. Imaging in detail retrieval and resolution is about the same. So if you want a little bit more of a sparkle and energy, get the K275s. But if you want more natural and accurate, go with the NTH-100s. Personally, I'm going to be sticking with the NTH-100s from Rode, as they are the most natural and accurate, neutral sounding monitor in a closed back that I've heard. $150. Rode, you could have charged $300, and I wouldn't have said no to them. These things are crazy good. And wow. Yeah. Rode, these are awesome. Good job. It's been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Speaking of next videos, somewhere on the screen, subscription links and notification bells and all kinds of other things are down below, so go ahead and check those off. Don't forget to give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to the video. Check out the links for information regarding gear tier lists and music used during the videos and all kinds of other things of how you can contact the channel, support the channel, follow the channel, all kinds of good stuff down below. So read the links and follow all the stuff on the screen. And also, don't forget to enjoy the music, and honesty is the best policy.